why is building muscle so important for women in the menopause zone? And how should we be structuring our workouts to build muscle? And how should we be fueling these workouts? These are the questions that I get asked all the time. And I'm going to be talking with, oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to be talking about this with Alta. Alta's my friend and colleague who specializes in fitness for women in the menopause zone. And I'm Kennedy. I'm a functional nutritionist specializing in helping people optimize their blood sugar. So, Alta, I'm so looking forward to our Friday chat again. This is a great thing we've started.
Yes, I'm very excited. One, I love just chatting with you, picking your brain, and making these connections that a lot of my clients are experiencing. And one of the reasons I love referring my clients to you, Karen, is that you, of course, that is out of my lane as far as functional nutritionist goes. That's not my lane. And so I know that Karen supplies the love, the care, the empathy, and the structure that my clients need to help get past whatever is keeping them stuck. And so happy to be here today. My name is Alta. I'm owner of Foundation Fitness and Nutrition. And as Karen mentioned, I specialize working with women in perimenopause and menopause. And in 16 weeks can help them lose weight, gain that vitality, gain the energy, and also feel comfortable and confident in their skin and anything they want to wear.
Yeah, that is why I send all my patients to you. I love it. So first of all, first and foremost, why are we even focusing on building muscle? Like, why do we care about that?
Yeah, it really needs to be at the price. Well, let me rephrase. If any woman has the desire to lose weight or maintain their healthiest weight, and maintain strong bones, posture, and independence, then lifting weights should be at the top priority of their list, because that is the number one way to benefit those areas. Increase your muscle mass, your metabolism, long-term sustainability of your healthiest weight, keeping your body strong, capable, and as I was saying, independent for as long as you can.
There isn't a reason. There is no reason not to do this.
There is no reason not to do this. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So that's it. I talk to lots of different people, and the answer is often we need to add some muscle. We need to increase muscle mass, whether it's for your blood sugar, your weight, for being stable, for your bone mass, for all the things. So it's
and I can explain a little bit further why. Why would that need to be an issue in this phase of life? And the answer is that we begin losing muscle mass due to age at 35. And I'm talking to women. So we begin to lose the weight just at a little steady state. But then when perimenopause, and then especially going through the menopausal phase, it takes a nosedive. And this is what happens, right? Say you're 35 and then your 40s and then 50s, or when women a little more organically begin to go through the menopausal phase, it literally takes a nosedive. It's like, right? And then after menopause, it steadies out for just your natural age-related muscle loss. Okay? So it's steady, lower, dips down, steadies back out.
Yeah.
So really, if you can get started lifting weights as soon as possible, by all means. The sweet news is that it's never too late. So if you're like, I haven't been lifting weights, I'm now in my 60s or 70s or what have you, guess what? You can get started today and still have some benefits compared to where you're at right now.
Right. And that's actually something I want to come back to later. Is I want to ask the different, like, if someone's starting from a totally deconditioned state, how would they start versus someone else? I have a note right here, over here, to ask you that. So I understand that putting muscle on is harder once you get in that peri and postmenopause zone. Do you know why it's harder at that point?
Yeah, I'm just going to refer back to the way we lose that muscle mass. It's just it's like a little bit of an uphill battle,
Mhm.
right? So if that nosedive is happening during that time, it's just that much more difficult to like charge back up that hill.
Gotcha.
The menopausal changes, I mean, the hormonal changes that are going on are just really making it that much more challenging to begin to lose that weight. All right.
Gotcha.
And so then I'm going to get into a little bit more like scientific stuff, but we've got a reduced protein synthesis that also happens during that time that just begins to make that so much more difficult. So it's harder
Mhm.
to build and maintain muscle mass. And this is just for everybody's awareness, okay?
Yeah.
This is just a heads up. It's more challenging. So if you start comparing yourself to other people, I want you to know, like, it's just harder. It just
It's just
is.
harder.
But you take that information and you go, okay, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but that just means I need to be a little bit more smarter about my workouts, which I know we'll get to. Smarter, not harder.
Smarter, not harder.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's the way you want to go about it. And so it just is harder.
Mhm.
Hormonal changes scientifically in our protein synthesis, and then lifestyle factors really become an issue as well. And those can become more challenging during menopause as well, making, building, and maintaining muscle mass challenging as well.
Okay. So after I ask you about the workout strategies, we might touch on a few of those lifestyle strategies and the protein synthesis part. So, building muscle. If I were coming to you in a very deconditioned state, well, I'm the age I am, so I'm 54, and let's say I do not work out. I don't work out. Maybe I walk sometimes, but I've not done strength training. I've not focused on building muscle. How do I start that? How would I structure my weight training program? I mean, could I just go to the gym and start picking up some weights and just doing a couple of reps? What do I need to focus on when I'm at the gym?
Yes, wonderful question. And my first answer is seek out a professional. All right, there are personal trainers in the world for a reason. I've been doing it for over 16 years, and you want somebody with experience, preferably somebody with perimenopausal and menopausal experience that really is ideal for a newbie, someone just walking in the gym, not having any experience.
Mhm.
And then what I would focus on is the basic human movements. You want to be able to squat, hinge, lunge, push, pull, rotate, right? Lateral bends, like walk properly, like all of those key human
Mhm.
movements are the touch points that you want to make sure that you're strengthening.
Okay. So not only are we building muscle for all those reasons, we're also building it so that we can actually do the things that we need to do.
Yes. So you can focus on those key human movements to go, okay, well, how can I structure my movement? How can I structure my workouts? Well, am I squatting, hinging, lunging, pushing, pulling, right? And then you can kind of design your workouts around the basic human movements.
Okay.
From there, ideally, you want to do about 12 to 15 repetitions. If you're a newbie, I recommend going through each exercise one time. 12 to 15 reps, one time through. Start with body weight.
Start with body weight.
Increase with light weights. I'm talking 1 pounders, 2 pounders, 3 pounders. And then as that starts to get a little easy, you can start to up your weight. Now, the safe zone is doing about 2.5 to 5 pound increase every couple of weeks or so, or when your body, as you begin to tune into your body, tells you, this is not so challenging anymore. Let me continue the challenge.
Okay.
That is
So,
how we would
right.
start.
You're starting off one set of like 12, 15 reps at a really light weight.
Mhm.
Just get the mechanism in, start building that pattern, and then start adding 2 to 5 pounds. Is that what you said?
Yes. So that weight increase, beginners start with body weight only. Focus on form, technique.
Form and technique. Oh yeah. Prevent injury.
Yes.
Prevent, that's why the professionals, because you want to prevent injury, right?
Yeah. So form and technique are going to be number one, quality over quantity always.
Okay.
Then once you have nailed that, then you can start picking up some weights. And here's the reminder. Resistance, right? Strength training, resistance can be machines, free weights, cables, bands. Those are all wonderful. And I've been teaching a virtual group fitness class since COVID started, where we started off with soup cans and have been going for almost 4
I
years.
still use soup cans when I'm
Yeah.
home.
Yes, absolutely. So as far as a beginner goes, those are wonderful ways to start. Just start focusing on form and technique. Then you can begin to challenge yourself. Once you feel ready to pick up some weights or go to bands or go to a machine, start really light. Start at the lightest. Then once it starts to feel a little easier, you can start to incrementally progress, again, avoiding injury. Let your body get used to that resistance. And then when it starts to feel a little too easy, take the weight up.
Okay.
10% increases is a wonderful
increases.
No more than 10%, and that goes for all formats.
Okay. It's interesting you say that, because I remember when my kids were little, getting a little older, and I was getting to the point where I thought I could start working out a little bit more now. Before that, I just didn't have it in me to work out. And I had been out of a workout routine for years. And I remember getting routine in, and I was going outside because I like going outside to exercise. And I have bricks. I mean, there's bricks all over the place here. And I would get some bricks. What else? I think I had a jump rope. I would jump rope, but I would do like a circuit of like lifting bricks like this, and doing a row, like leaning over, and then doing lunge steps across the driveway and back. And it was a very short workout. Like, I think it took me 5 or 10 minutes, but I was outside. But I did it every day, like at least 5 days a week, because I got out of the house. I kind of took a break from my kids. And I got so many benefits. Like, I actually noticed that I got stronger faster. I noticed it visually and how my body felt. And I was surprised how much of a difference it made, that little workout.
Yeah, no, you are bringing up a wonderful point here. So in my coaching program, the workouts are designed in a way that is called metabolic resistance training. And so what it's doing is really maximizing your time by maximizing your muscles. And so a lot of the exercises are multi-muscle exercise movements that can really benefit the body, because multi-muscle, large muscle recruitment, a lot of oxygen is required, a lot of blood flow to those muscles, and you really get to like most bang for your buck. And now it's about the strength components and multi-muscle work. And so it might be an upper body with a light lower body, or a lower body, strong lower body with a lighter upper body. And so you're able to kind of do a little bit of circuit training, which was kind of what you were doing right there, but still staying strength based, but with a little bit of benefit of heart conditioning.
Right.
And
I
so
love that
is a wonderful way to get a great workout in a short amount of time, and really maximizing the muscle, and wonderful calorie burn, and wonderful opportunity for your body to really have to work to build that muscle by restructuring the muscle. Not so much restructuring the muscle, but rebuilding the muscle after the workout.
So let's talk about this rebuilding the muscle after the workout, because one thing that I've seen, I learned this myself the hard way, and I see this in clients, is that I hear a lot of people saying, well, I'm still working out and doing the same big workout that I've always done. And I'm actually putting weight on, and I'm not putting any muscle on. So I've been learning that this is all about then how you feel it in your recovery.
Well, yes. So I'm going to speak to what you mentioned just now regarding doing the same workouts that I've always done, right? And my question there is, if you're giving your body the same stimulus or the same challenge every single time, then your body's not going to make any changes, because it's acclimated to that stuff, not the style of workout, but the resistance or challenge that you're giving the body. So for example, if you are picking up the same 10-pound weights that you've been picking up for years, then you're not lifting heavy enough. Your body can be challenged
I
more.
see.
And the key is continually challenging the body. You're continually requiring it to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. Unfortunately, a lot of women are scared of bulking up and afraid of injury and not lifting appropriately.
Right. And I just go, we got to address, let's just stop and talk about people getting scared of bulking up.
Yes.
Like, it is hard to bulk up. Ask any guy who's trying to like bulk up. When a woman says, I'm worried I'm going to bulk up, they're like, yeah, I wish I had that problem. It's hard to bulk up. It's very difficult. So I just wouldn't, trust me, you're not going to bulk up.
I like to remind my gals that the women that they see with that kind of muscle mass on their body, who are training for Olympic lifting competitions, right? They dedicate their lives in the gym and in their nutrition to build that kind of body. You don't get that body by accident. Yeah. And it requires some serious dedication, and they are not nearly lifting and training in that matter.
And they're not eating enough. No one is eating enough to get that to happen.
There's no way that they can do that, right? What you want to make sure, women who want to build that muscle mass without feeling like they're bulking up, is that you are at the same time, and we're going to speak nutritionally to this, same time eating in a way that allows you to lose the body fat so that you can begin to see the muscle tone that you're building. You're building it, but if we have a layer of fat over that muscle, you're not going to see it in the way that you want, where it feels like you're gaining weight, but you're not. It's just that you also need to fine tune your nutrition to benefit those muscle building benefits.
So before you start talking about this and fueling it, one thing I get asked all the time is, well, don't I want to go into my workout fasted so that I can burn more fat? So do you have anything to say about working out fasted versus not fasted, how to pre-fuel your workout and what's important there?
Absolutely. Studies are showing women who want to lose weight should not be going to their workout fasted. Now, it's not that they need to eat like a huge meal. Absolutely not. If you're like me, I need at least 2 full hours before I work out to have eaten and digested. Now, everybody's a little bit different as far as like their time frame from their body, but going into your workout with a little bit of carbs, a little bit of protein, you're going to be able to maximize your performance, maximize hanging on to that muscle and that muscle building.
And so what does that look like? Practically, what does that look like when you have a pre-workout load?
Yeah. So for me, I'm all about ease. So I might do a little protein shake. I'm going to get that carbohydrate, quick acting carbohydrate, quick protein without my body like needing to break it down a ton, right? It's already smooth. Now, keep in mind, protein shakes are not magic. They're a supplement. And I like to supplement that for ease. So it's a quick, easy thing for me to do. I don't have to think, right? And I don't have to make anything or put anything together. So it's my quick solution to easy nutrition. Now, if somebody doesn't want to do that, let's think, what could a quick carbohydrate, a quick, easy protein? I mean, if you want to do a piece of toast with like a hard-boiled egg, boom, right? A piece of toast with a little pre-made chicken, boom, right? Like, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be magic. It doesn't have to be an over, you don't have to think about it too hard. Is there something that you like to do a pre-workout with?
I actually, a lot of times I'll just put same thing, a couple of eggs and maybe a few slices of apple.
Yeah.
That's
Wonderful.
what I like.
Yeah.
I always keep hard-boiled eggs around because that's a big fueling tool that I have, and I have chickens.
Simple. I love it. Yeah, so that's like just your quick go-to. Now, my question that I get a lot of women is like, well, I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is work out. And it's like, they're not hungry yet.
Right.
Then they're, they don't have an hour or two before because they're like, I'm not going to wake up at 4 to work out at 6.
Exactly.
So on that note, Karen, what do you recommend to clients who are like, hey, I'm going to do a 6 a.m. workout, but my alarm's going off at 5:30. I have enough time for coffee. What do I do?
Yeah. Well, you just nailed it. Often people say I have enough time for coffee. I'm like, well, there is one of the proven exercise aids that we have out there is caffeine. So why don't we put some stuff in your coffee? Let's make it all easy. So that's where people can put like collagen in their coffee. That gives you a little bit of protein. You can always just pop a few bites of a banana or apple slice in there. So again, something that goes down easily. But sometimes I sometimes I will not eat before I work out just because exactly that reason. The timing is really tricky. But I always try to I just want to have a few carbs and a little protein on board, even if it's just collagen and in my coffee or something like that.
That's fantastic, right? The scoops of collagen generally gives about like 18 grams of protein in there. You've got your coffee acting as a little stimulant for a pre-workout, right? And then if you can take a few bites of that banana, you're going to feel more energized, ready to go. You're going to be able to perform better, and your body's going to be much happier.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what about afterwards? What about after workout eating?
Yes. So after your workout, if you can eat within that hour, then you can eat again a little protein, a little carbohydrate. That could be your opportunity to have a little bit of fat as well. Highly recommend. Now, a thumb size is a serving of fat there, my friends. Okay. So depending on your body and your body's needs, you might want a thumb or two size of healthy fats. Okay. So keep that in mind. And also, your post-workout is a wonderful opportunity for your body to utilize those carbohydrates. So if you're eating for weight loss, your best opportunity of those carbs that you might enjoy, whether it's breads or pastas or rices, is going to be best utilized after that workout.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And this is what got me. I actually learned a lot. So I'm 54 now, and I did a lot of experimenting with body composition and weight training. I think about 2 years ago, because the gym I go to, there's a mobile DEXA unit that they have that's affordable. So I started using DEXA scans. For those who don't know what that is, the DEXA scan is what you use to get your bone density. But it will, when you go and get your bone density done, ask the tech, hey, could you print out my body fat composition, my visceral fat, my muscle mass? I want to know what's going on in there. So it would print that out. And what I found, because I had started doing weight training with no guidance, I was just kind of just doing my thing. And I was fasting because I've always felt good fasting going into a workout. And then I would eat. I was not eating around my workout strategically. And I discovered that, my bone density is still going down, because this is when I was about 52 that I did this. My bone density was going down. I gained no muscle mass during that time. It might have actually gone down a little. And I actually put on a little body fat. And I was exercising a lot. And I don't know if you remember, I'm like a professional nutritionist. And then when I started reading about how this works and started doing exactly what Alta's talking about, instead of going in fasted to burn fat, I was fueling my workout. And then within that time, because within that hour, I was eating. And for me, because I was the schedule, I would actually use a protein smoothie after my workout, because that worked, again, for my schedule. It was more convenient. And I would make sure I always had at least 30 grams of protein in there, because we know that, like, when you're 20, you can just, lift some weights and look at some chicken and put on muscle. Your hormones take care of those signals to build muscle, but we need more signals to actually repair, because when you're weight training, you're actually breaking down muscle, and it puts you in this catabolic state, and catabolism means breakdown. It increases stress. Our cortisol levels go up. Cortisol is that stress hormone. It goes up when we exercise. So we're increasing our stress. We're breaking down muscle. And if we don't eat, we just continue in this high cortisol, high glucose, catabolic state, when what we want is lower stress, lower glucose, and building muscle. And the way to do that is getting that food in right away. And so that's what says a signal to your body that it's not a famine. You can keep your metabolic rate high. Otherwise, if you don't eat enough, I mean, this happens to athletes all the time. If they don't eat enough, they get this energy deficiency syndrome. And so I discovered that I was actually sending my body, my thyroid, the signal of, ooh, there's some kind of famine going on here. We're gonna back off the metabolic rate so you can survive. And when I started eating more, in about a 6-month period, I can't remember how much, but I added a couple pounds of muscle to my frame. A 6-month period at 53 years old, I added like 3 pounds of muscle.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, the difference was the fueling, the timing of the fueling.
Yes. Yeah.
You can do it. But Alta said, like, you're going uphill, but it's doable. And and I was actually using a trainer who was helping me learn how to actually structure my workout. So that bit of investment just paid off. And so you can do it. You can totally put muscle on, but you have to follow the rules.
Yes. Yes. And my discussion about like that it's challenging is just for awareness. It's just to know, you know what? I need to be working smarter, not harder. And fueling properly, giving the proper challenge to those muscles so that it has to rebuild, and then fueling it a little bit more, right? We want to, like you said, bring that stress level down, lower the cortisol, be in a little more in sync with our blood sugar, and then challenge the body, allow the body to put on that muscle mass.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, okay, so you mentioned earlier something about other lifestyle factors that can play into this. What were you talking about?
So those lifestyle factors, of course, one of those happens to be sleep. And that can be challenging, right? So really tightening up the sleep schedule as best you can. Yeah. But actually, one of the other things is that there tends to be a reduction in physical activity. So that's actually going to be the number one thing I would think about, is because we sit so much these days. But it also tends to happen as we get older, right? We just tend to sit a little bit more. And so it's that lack of just general movement. I mean, in this day and age, we had our robot vacuuming the floors, right? Like, and rolling. Yes. And so it's just a lack of additional movement that we do. And so that alone, I mean, think about what COVID did for us all. We all stayed at home. We're on our computers, went to the couch, went to our desk, went to the couch, went to our desk, right? And so there was such a lack of movement. And that is just our culture now. And so that there's a huge lack of movement in general. And that goes for even people who work out. Because if you ever wear your pedometer or your smartwatch, which usually monitors your steps, even if you worked out, you're like, holy moly, I only got like 1,000 steps in, but I worked out. But yeah, you didn't move as much. So our daily movement is lacking as well. So it's getting up as much as possible, trying to move your body, having your intentional workout set, but also how are you moving throughout your day?
Right. So we are focusing on strength. We are starting with body weight and working up gradually. We're starting out looking at getting some support. So we're doing it right so we can prevent injury, because nothing sets you back like injury. We're fueling our workouts because we want to send those signals to our muscles to repair and grow, and not that signal to increase stress, because also we know that once we get into perimenopause, we just don't handle stress the same way. And we want to sleep. Don't we? We just want to sleep. Again, just like exercise, for all the reasons we want to sleep, but also because that's part of our recovery.
Exactly.
I feel like we covered that.
I think that is the full coverage at this moment.
At this moment.
When it comes to why, how, and what to do.
Right. So if those of you listening to us, if you have any questions from here, leave them in the comments for where you're watching this so we can jump on and answer those. And if you have other things that you want us to talk about in the coming weeks, let us know. and we'll see what we can do.
I love it.
All right.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Alta. I'll see you next week.